On December 27th, 12,000 small businesses received an email that changed everything for them. Bench Accounting, which is a company that raised over $100 million in venture capital and had over 600 employees, just announced that they were shutting down. This left thousands of small businesses with no financial processes and no access to their books really close to tax season. They did this with no transition plan, with no warning, just an email letting them know that services are stopping immediately. And what's especially shocking here is that Bench is not a small startup. Bench has been around for about 13 years. They were a large company. They had capital, they had employees, they had customers. But now their customers are left with this race against time to get their financial processes back in place before critical deadlines hit. I'm Rayla. I'm a CPA at Finaloop, specializing in e-commerce, direct-to-consumer, and multi-channel brands. And I've been spending my weekend speaking with a lot of really worried small business owners who really don't know their next steps and how to get their books back in place, how to create a system that they can trust and get ready for tax season. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened with Bench, at least what I'm aware of, what this means for your business, and most importantly, give you a clear action plan as to next steps to protect your company's financial future and make sure that you meet all of your deadlines. Here is what we know about the situation. Bench was founded in 2011, and they've been a major player in the online bookkeeping world, serving businesses across all industries. They had backing from major investors like Shopify, like Sage, and they really seemed pretty financially sound, even with their last funding in 2021 of $60 million. So something clearly went wrong. And while we don't have all of the inside information, most financial experts believe it has to do with the fact that they had broken debt covenants, meaning they had financial obligations that came due that they just couldn't pay. And this really left everybody in a lurch. Now, the timing of the shutdown right before year end, it appears to be strategic, likely to avoid all of the year-end obligations that comes with the end of the year. It comes with closing the books, comes with preparing for tax filing season. And that also comes with a lot of financial obligations related to paying the employees that will close those books and paying for the technology that hosts those books. And I think shutting down before that was a very strategic move on their part. While the timing of what happened to Bench is not ideal, they made a responsible choice to let you know before year end rather than waiting until they weren't able to meet the deadlines in order to let you know that they can't file your taxes or close your books, because that really would have left you in an impossible situation. But now you do need to act quickly. So let's cover some critical deadlines that you need to know about, because obviously the first step to making this action plan is understanding what deadlines you are working with. Now, the first one is in terms of gathering all of your financial data from Bench. December 30th at 9 a.m. EST, Bench is going to post more information about accessing your financial records. And the messaging on their website actually recently changed from saying that they'll tell you know how to access your financial records and recommending you to another bookkeeping business to actually just saying, we're going to let you know how to continue our services. So my guess is that in the late hours of the night, they were burning the midnight oil, and probably their business was acquired. So now they're going to likely push you to another bookkeeping business or whoever it is that bought them. My personal opinion is I would be a bit skeptical about moving with Bench to another service provider. And instead, I would use this as an opportunity to really rethink your situation and make sure that you create a financial process that you trust with service providers that you trust. That's obviously a crucial point here. Another deadline that you need to keep in mind is January 31st. This is a really important one. This is when a lot of the 1099 forms become due. Now, the 1099 filing is non-negotiable, and there are major penalties if you do not file your 1099s. So the key before January 31st is making sure that your books are closed and that you have your list of the service providers that you need to provide your 1099s to, and all the information that you need in order to be able to file those 1099s. The next deadline that I'll mention, and really the last critical one here, is your tax filing deadlines. So that's March 15th if you are a partnership or an S corporation, and April 15th if you're a C corporation or a Schedule C filer. You can also file an extension that will give you an extra 6 months to file. But just a very important note here is that that does not extend when your tax payments are due. So you need to make sure to pay your taxes before the due date in any case, at least your estimated taxes, and then you can file for an extension and have an extra 6 months to file your tax return. So what are your next steps in order to secure your data and make sure that you get out of this unscathed? The first one is immediately downloading all of the information from Bench that you have access to as soon as they make it available. So all of your current and prior year-end financials, your complete general ledger, any uploaded receipts and bank statements, your tax documents and supporting materials, monthly reconciliation reports, or any other custom reports you created. Make sure to export them and save them for your records for tax filing purposes, and it will also help you better transition to your new accounting service. Now let's talk about taxes. I strongly recommend that the affected businesses file a tax extension in order to give you more time to get everything settled. This will give you until September 15th and October 15th instead of March 15th or April 15th to file your tax returns. Now, this isn't about procrastination. It's about giving yourself the time that you need to properly close your 2024 books, fully transition to your new service provider, ensure all of your financial data is properly set up, and also have your new team thoroughly review your financials to make sure that you feel comfortable with them. Now, let's talk about understanding the broader impact of what this bench closure means for you and for the industry, frankly. One business owner that I spoke with over the weekend was really worried about losing 5 years of financial data that they had in bench. And another one is just completely lost as to what their next step should be because there are a lot of alternatives out there and they really don't know where to go from here. And to be fair, these are really valid concerns. You're really left in an impossible situation here and one that you have to deal with very little time. So let's talk about what happened with Bench because I think ultimately these concerns and the situation really highlights a bigger issue with the industry. Now, Bench made a mistake that a lot of companies make, which is that they try to be everything to everyone. So they serve cross verticals across multiple different industries, serving, restaurants, construction companies, e-commerce businesses, dentist office. And each one really has their unique business needs. So there are some industries where it doesn't really matter. For example, if it's really a cash business, it's pretty simple and you don't really need experts in that area. But when it comes to e-commerce businesses, and I can tell you this from my personal experiences, is that you need someone who really knows the ins and outs of your business. There is a lot of nuances when it comes to e-commerce. And at the end of the day, having a service provider like Bench that really covers across industry, it means that you miss out on some industry-specific knowledge that you really need. So this is not just about bookkeeping. It's about, creating and having a partner that you trust in this financial process. So now let's talk about your next steps. And, I can speak about e-commerce businesses specifically because that is more of my expertise. Sorry for all the construction companies and restaurants. I can't help you much here. For e-commerce businesses in particular, this transition is going to present a unique set of challenges. Your accounting needs are fundamentally different than traditional businesses. So, you're dealing with multiple sales channels, Shopify and Amazon and retail and B2B. You have complex inventory management and COGS needs. You have marketplace fees and reconciliations, real-time cash flow monitoring, which, to be honest, if we learned anything from the Bench situation, is that cash flow is important to businesses of all sizes. So this is really where I can speak directly to my experience with Finaloop. Unlike Bench's one-size-fits-all approach, we have exclusively worked with e-commerce businesses and really dived into the nuances and the challenges that e-commerce businesses face. So we've seen firsthand how this specialized expertise when it comes to e-commerce and multi-channel businesses really makes a difference in your financials. Now, I remember one of the customers that I spoke with actually said that they had to explain basic concepts about the nuances of their Shopify orders to their accountant, and this should not be your job. They should already be able to understand that and be able to explain things to you that you don't necessarily understand about it. Now, this is going to be a risk no matter which non-e-commerce specialized alternative you switch to, whether it's going to be a traditional bookkeeper or even a company like pilot, which also serves cross industries. And we are committed to making this transition as smooth as possible at Finaloop. So what we did is we built a bench to Finaloop migration tool that allows us to give you a free migration and free 2024 catch-up books. So we will build your full 2024 books in Finaloop, and that way you have everything in time ready for your tax deadlines. And we also guarantee 1.5 weeks until you have everything set up and ready for you to be able to access that information in Finaloop. Now, I know that this has created a lot of uncertainty for you as a small business owner, especially with tax season approaching, and you need a solution fast. But here's the thing. This can also really be a great opportunity for you to find an alternative that is better suited for your business. With Finaloop, you can connect directly on our website. It takes 15 minutes to connect your apps. No credit cards required, no commitment. And right away, our team processes the data. Our team of accountants will take that data and create your financials for you. One important thing I want to clarify is that if you're worried about switching to an online tool like Finaloop, especially after your experience with Bench, I can assure you we are not an AI accounting tool. And I really hate it when people call us that because it is very far from the truth. We have an entire team of CPAs, almost exclusively from ex-Big Four like PwC and Ernst & Young, who are reviewing your books, doing the accounting service for you. We leverage AI and automations to provide you with real-time data, to provide you with more accurate financials. But you have a whole team of actual accountants here who are ready to talk to you and help you and answer your questions and are actually doing the bookkeeping and the accounting for you. So you can rest assured that your books are in good hands. We will handle the heavy lifting, and we are really here to help you get back on track. If you have any questions or you're looking for additional resources about everything that is going on with Bench, you can email us at bench@finaloop.com, or you can also just head on to the Finaloop website, finaloop.com, and click Get Started to get started with your free trial. As I said, you'll have completely free catch-up and bookkeeping, free migration, so just get connected, no commitment, and you'll already be able to see your financials being set up and ready and accessible to you right away, all the time, just so you can breathe easy and know that you're going to be okay for your tax deadlines. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are here to support you through this crazy and difficult time. Happy New Year.